fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that fact, taking big...
I really think that there's been a sorely missed opportunity for developers to take a step back from competition and take a step forward with community. And if they do that, I think we all win, because community, I would argue, is the one thing that no one's trying to solve. We're trying to solve recruitment. We're trying to solve competition. Tell me, where's community? Honestly, any one of you, go ahead. Shout out what's the national community for Scholastic right now. Any title, tell me.
Yeah.
Where do I go? How do I meet and hang out?
Of the storm. Community, zero.
There's nothing. It doesn't exist anymore. And it doesn't exist statewide. It doesn't exist school-wide. It doesn't exist region-wide. It doesn't exist nationally. It doesn't exist digitally on Twitch. It doesn't exist digitally on Discord. It doesn't exist through any form of skill-based development. It doesn't exist on any form of, skill-based learning, or just pure socialization and fandom. Huge missed opportunity. You want to take their time and make it more efficient, in my opinion. Tell Riot Scholastic politely to stop what they're doing with competitive, and their integration with LCS should be, Twitch, symposiums and summits and conversations and learning and all sorts of wonderful things, and promoting camps and educational learning activities and RSSA sponsored curriculum. That will move the needle. I don't see any of that.
So Chris, that was pretty much the last topic. You kind of wrapped it in a nice package called community. And I was kind of thinking more from an organizer and a broadcaster point of view around growing fandom. And how do we get fandom around collegiate esports to look more like traditional sports across the board? And, that helps us go out and sell sponsorships in the place, of which trickles down to all our member schools that we represent. But when we go to brands and we can't check that box of, 1 billion impressions and 1 million views, we still are challenged with selling those sponsorships. So my last and final is, do we have any secrets around how to grow fandom or grow community let's just start with on campus?
I got the big one real quick.
Okay.
Best way to grow community: food nights. It has nothing to do with playing the game. I'll give you a real life example. We used to do dollar burger night at the University of Cincinnati. We'd just go out to Bar Louie. We used to have dollar burgers every Wednesday. We'd post in at this time those Facebook groups, tell people where to show up. 6 people, 12 people showed up the first week. By the third month, we had 40 plus people coming. And it was the biggest revenue night of the week for Bar Louie every week, purely because of us. But we had friendships, we had relationships, we had roommates, we had all sorts of great, wonderful things come from that. And that translated to our LANs, our club meetings, and everything from that. It was nothing beats food nights.
Just like pro sports, we need to focus on tribalism. And the way that you create tribalism is you have to prioritize in-person experience, in my opinion. I think that there's a lot of companies trying to become unicorn online platforms, but at the end of the day, I think we need pockets and hubs around the country that serve as regional and local hubs. Once you get a group of people together that share their love for the team that is on their campus, they start to develop a bond around that. You can do that online, but it won't be nearly as effective. Professional esports is having this tribalism problem because it's the majority of it's online. It's resulted in fans following players more so than the teams. I mean, that's a pretty broad topic, though. Like, we're starting to see those trends in traditional sports as well start to occur. People will follow LeBron and specific players on different teams to wherever they are. But I think for collegiate specifically, schools need to create meaningful live experiences. And if we're talking explicitly about fandom, you have to make the students on your campus care about the team first. That's the biggest thing. Either you create a level of pride through community engagement, or through the team itself. At a lot of schools, the groundwork is there for this. Like there are schools like UBC, Ohio State, with Buckeye Gaming Collective that have clubs that number in the 2,000 to 3,000 range, right? So they have a base to begin with. At a school like Maryville, like we kind of developed it the opposite way. When I came in and started building our esports program, we had 3 kids in our esports club, and so we've kind of built the team, and then the club has followed, which is kind of the opposite for a lot of schools. But I think that we have to develop tribalism, and that starts with meaningful live events. And the more that these events, the longer that these events continue to be like only online, the less effective it is in creating that final goal.
Agreed. Doc, you wrap it up for us, please.
I would just say this: clubs ebb and flow based on their leadership. But if all students, all clubs, all groups are given regular and meaningful invitations to come in, use the space, create what you want out of this, then it will continue to thrive despite the change in leadership. I can just imagine that Cincy student group with Chris heavy in the leadership there just being amazing. But there's not always someone with his skill set um, at the helm. So you just need to be open and look for opportunities to serve, even though it can be more difficult, especially in the scheduling of the space. I know a lot of people that don't like anybody else but the players they're recruited to use their space. As much as we can, if we want to build community, we have to open the space to people that we wouldn't normally see in there and let them do the types of things that they want to do.
One more thing, so like on a national level, though, if we want to raise the general viewership of all of collegiate esports and not just different pockets, that's a hard one because people watch esports to see people do stuff that they're better than them at, right? So naturally at the collegiate level, we're going to be at a lower level than pro. So it's hard to get people to watch for that reason. But what we can sell are narratives and storylines, matchup histories. And as we start to build a longer history of collegiate esports, I actually truly believe that some of the CLOL storylines are more rich than what exists in Academy and
100%.
and the LCS, but no one's really covering it. No one's really drilling down into it. No one's creating narrative content. So I think that that's the key to getting people to care about it. Like if there's a storyline, people attach themselves to it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll add one more thing before we end. The largest organizations on any university campus. This is a very blanket statement. Could be wrong for you. It's right for many. Campus ministry and Greek life are always the largest groups on campus. Why? It's because of the concept of family. Let me explain. With a club or a program, many people identify, oh, I am a gamer, but I am also A, B, C. And usually it's I am A, B, C, and I'm also a gamer. Not everyone is a gamer first and foremost. And you're only going to capture that population if you're promoting purely competitive and purely esports. And so I said food nights and social activities. I'm really stealing from campus ministry and Greek life because what you want to do to build community at your school is to make it so that the thing that you're doing is the number one thing in the students' lives. Now that's a very selfish thing to say, but it's a true statement. For you to grow the largest community, your community needs to feel that the thing that they're a part of is the most important part of their social campus experience. That's why Greek life is so successful. That's why campus ministry is so successful. And when you treat esports as a program of just competition, practice, and development, that's an outlet. That's not a way of life. Not for at scale. Not when 55% of the campus body at a Division I school identifies as a gamer in some way, shape, or form. You're not going to touch that 55%. You're going to touch 5%, maybe. You're probably going to touch 0.05% or 0.5% at a Division I school. And so what you really need to do is build that community authentically by, as Doc said about Dan, what are the people prioritizing, and do that. And how do they enjoy their life? What would they find meaningful? Do that. And then do everything else, because the financials and everything else, the planning and all that matters too. And that's why we have a talent problem in Scholastic Esports. But I will wrap up and say, for the national level, Dan's completely right on narrative. But I'm not worried about that, because the only thing we need to build community nationwide is just time. We are 2 generations away from.
Tis the season for some playoffs. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Esports U. I'm Hail Monkey Man in the booth alongside Vincent, and we've got some ECC semi-final Valorant playoffs to kick off with. In case you and yours are a little bit too cold, make sure you stay inside, especially tonight, because we've got some heat here in the playoffs. Vincent, you brought the festiveness. I had to match it, and so are these teams tonight.
Yeah, I'm hoping that things are indeed going to be heating up as they have been with my nice fire right behind me, because semifinals, man, it's going to be a whole lot of fun. We had a fantastic couple of best of threes prepared here tonight, and let's talk about who we have on the roster. You see them up top there, SNHU and New York going up against one another. I'm really excited to see this matchup, because I love to see rematches of series that happened during the regular seasons into the playoffs. That is one of my favorites, and that's a storyline that we're seeing here tonight.
Yeah, this is a couple of squads that did meet up. I believe it went 2-0. Was it in favor of the Cybears, I believe?
It was,
Question mark? Yes. Yeah. This is a squad that they knew how to do it during the regular season, but just like you said, going from regular season to postseason is a completely different beast. You're in a single elimination format. There are no more do-overs, and hopefully you've been able to, act with the times, especially with patch changes, as much as this game stays alive with the players themselves. It also stays alive in its own capacity. But let's check out the maps that these squads are going to be acting upon. If you wanted some good stuff, you guessed it, you got it. We got gifts for this season, as well as this face-off in this semifinal. We're going to be starting off with Pearl, and then we're going to be heading over to Haven. So this is not your normal, typical outcome for these maps, but we will eventually see Ascent here, Vincent.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm really excited to see this sort of flipped on its head. If anything, normally we'll see, in a Ascent, Haven, Pearl type of map pool. But to start out on Pearl is going to be a blast, and it's New York that take us to that map pick. I'm curious to see exactly how that's going to have an impact on the length of this series, and, well, whether or not we're going to see a return to that 2-0 form that they were able to find. One thing, though, that stands up against their way is SNHU. Listen, they've evolved since the last time they met. A top 30 team now in the CVAL Power Rankings that put out, or actually updated just earlier this evening. And number 28, just barely made the cut, but the cut they did make.
Wow, that's something to really kind of stand upon. And I mean, they could continue to elevate their game if they continue to take down the behemoths that stand in their way. I mean, SNHU, they were brought into this playoff here in the ECC for at the number 7 position. They took down the number 2 Farmingdale Rams in 2-0 fashion. So it's got to be the number 3 Side Bears that were also able to beat the CSI Dolphins that have to say, all right, seeding is seeding. That's cool, but it's big time now. Bracket boys is often what I call these kinds of teams, because you've got your regular season to set up what is your postseason, and now that you're here, you got to be good. So we go into Pearl, and we've been seeing a couple different meta setups. Cybears, they are the ones that picked it. I know that they're going to be coming in with some good strategies. I like Excicerer on this squad. They've really been leading it a time or two, and that's why they've been so good. And I gotta wonder. So we get to see all the big changes. It seems that a lot of our initiators got it touched on going to patch patchwork, but also the big is what happened to Chamber. We're going to be seeing the picks here. What are you expecting?
Honestly, it's so early in the stages of kind of like figuring out what has happened, what's actually been nerfed, that it's kind of hard. It's hard to see what would be the right things to choose. I think here we're already seeing some maybe decisions to move away from that Chamber, go back towards something a little bit more familiar, right? Like the Jet, for example. There's always going to be space for that Jet to work with if you are able to utilize it. And well, to talk a little bit more as well about the controllers that we tend to see, Viper getting some changes here. Not always the most picked on this map. Particularly, I think we're going to see the Astra mirror probably. And I say probably because, well, New York Tech have yet to okay, there's Visor chunking in with the I was getting a little worried, the Astra making a lot of sense is going to be the lock-in.
Yeah, there's been a lot of upgrades to health pools for some of those smaller gadgets and gizmos aplenty, but the who's its and what's its galore is that the thingamabobs for our ult points have increased in prices. The same will be true of the null command for the KO, which there is going to be one per side. Fade had hers all of previous 5.11, but that one has been taken in stride. Infinity Prime X, that is a big player that we're going to see work well around Exisarare on the side of the Cybears. They play very well on that Cypher, and I want to see their cam usage as well as the trapwires that have also gotten a little bit of HP, touch up from 1 to 20. So can the Cybears, New York Tech, be able to own Pearl, or will Southern New Hampshire University be able to storm the harbor, as it were, coming into this awesome map? And this is one of my favorites. Change, everyone says, is bad, but, sometimes it's good. And this map has really grown on me, man.
Yeah, I was a big fan when this first came out. I'm a big fan now. I continue to be a big fan throughout. And kind of to continue the point that you were making there on the Cypher, right? Like that is in addition to a couple of changes in the links of those trap wires and where exactly they can be placed in the previous patch. So some definite buffs to that Cypher. They're building over time, and maybe one of those changes wouldn't have been as big a deal, but multiple changes, they can start to have a massive impact. And which also, by the way, one of the only ultimates still at 6 orbs, which is one thing to note. So make sure to pick that out as quickly as you can. Gather extra information. Definitely more viable with the buffs to the neural theft as well.
Yeah, that neural theft increase, be able to get that 4-second ping delay, it makes it so tough to act immediately following getting it, and it can be activated from distance as well. So you're a little bit safer if you are a Cypher. And talk about safety, look at the spread. On the minimap, you have everyone kind of fanned out way back of each of the sites, and you have one up along in B, but that's because they've taken control of mid here in Plaza around that Mohawk. Everyone kind of seeing, all right, what's our thoroughfare? Do we work our way into Art? Do we go into a B connector? Well, we're going to see a little bit of extra intel as the bot has been sighting anyone trying to insurgent their way through, and it seems that A will be our first lead.
Yeah, Peachy trying to stand tall here. A little bit of a lone defense, but there's a shot. So he's going to take out that initial frag, and this is pretty much a bloodbath over towards A. Not much to be found as the defense works their way back in. 2 players alive, and maybe not for too long as, well, Agron at least able to do something here. Thin the herd just a little bit.
One enemy remaining.
Tailwind will be able to get Agron at least forward, but Visor will see them pretty clearly. They're holding on all these tight angles of the 3v1. You're stuck in the crosshair and the crossfire, but Coffee will drop. So Visor finds a couple on the back end of round number 1. And so again, in YIT, Cybears, this was their map pick. They came in, they actually set themselves up on attack. I think that's a very favorable position for them. They can be able to play around the Astra Stars for post-plant holds, but this is a defense that SNHU really needs to kind of step up to. If they give up Plaza over time, NYIT will have just the pick of the map wherever they want to go.
Yeah, that's a good point, right? You can't allow the likes of NYIT to determine exactly what you can hold, what you can't hold. You as a defense have to be willing to get aggressive. We're not seeing any of that right now. It's just the attack that is making those moves. All of the players here from NYIT moving in, and Sin going to take out Comfy on towards the entry. Another open site for the plant, and it'll be A once again.
Spike planted.
Coffee been decaffeinated as they were kind of being brewed up, and you do have a triplicate of players that, you know, they all have classics, so maybe at least one sheriff and a bit of firepower between the two that are flanking to either edge. And so this is a 4-person retake as they do put one from downtown. That is actually going to be Peachy that finds a kill onto Sin. So this is now an even margin of error as you have the underhanded line. Everyone trying to be able to press in. Oh, right in your face is the battle bot. Ethan is able to get rid of C-Dubs, and Hilton is the only one that's able to find a kill onto Rare. It's a 1v3. They let him reload, and that is just easy. You can't allow them that much time. Right-click hero, they're not to be, but the first two go over the Cybears.
Yeah, and the problem is you're at SNHU there. You just don't have the utility to get back in there. A good couple of frags to, you know, keep things even, keep things reasonable into a round like this one where you have a full buy as well. And speaking of those frags, right, those players who went down, only going to be working with a couple of sheriffs. So this purchase, not the greatest from NYIT. There's definitely chances for SNHU to pick this up. Southern New Hampshire in a good position now as we get down to the first gun round. The bonus for NYIT.
I've seen Sin do some magic. I believe it was on a breach all of a few weeks ago during the regular season, and that Boombot does not clear that corner, may eventually, but Connector is kind of under duress as Peachy's just trying to be able to hold this angle. They're able to get rid of one Exasperator, step into the corner, and that's a weird little box over there. They actually neutralize some space. That's going to be a stun that at least hits them, but that's just a delay in any of the follow-up. Ethan waiting for the Cybears to see if anyone would press up, but this is a very disciplined hold right now from SNHU.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, right, they found that opening pick, and so that's part of the reason I think they're being so passive here. It's because they don't necessarily need to take any more space. They have the advantage, and they know that NYIT are the ones that have to make the next move. And NYIT, at least their posturing suggests that they're starting to feel that pressure. They don't have much map control. They've only got positioning here towards the B site, or even really towards B long, not even the actual site itself. And they're going to be having to group up into that area and push this in this direction. C-Dub should have the information pretty early on, though.
Yeah, and they're going to get one all blind fire through the Nebula, but otherwise they are just going to sit tight into that backside corridor as everyone's going to rotate all the way through B connector. So they're going to have some direct push against this wall and this angle. They got to get this bomb down, and that is going to be an easy kill. C-Dubs finds him on the wall bang, and that's going to be a fragment. There will be no plant, but there's going to be a lot of kills, maybe these waning seconds. Only one remaining, and they'll find him on the opposite angle. So where they do get the first two, it's going to be SNHU who grabs the third. They did have the power by. They had a nice kind of difference there, but you know, that opening kill kept the Cybears from doing much of anything, and they kind of waited too long. They waited for that aggression we were asking for, but that happens more at the beginning of the round. In the middle of it, it was just SNHU playing patient.
Yeah, they were hoping for some regress, and that's fair, right? There's nothing wrong with that, particularly when you have the disadvantage with regard to the weaponry, which, you know, NYIT did have that disadvantage. But the big key for me to close that round was SNHU and their utility usage. They just deny any idea at the plant. That's why it wasn't going down no matter what.
You have that extended bite area that is used to blind Sova on the side of SNHU, and now we're in the true gun rounds as we go to round number 4. Everyone able to buy up YT.
They're at least storm there. SNHU.
Yeah, they're testing it. They're trying to see if SNHU is going to build up that economy as well. But Rare, they're going to take this double swing. They're going to try and win it around Hilton. Hilton will back up, and this is one of my favorite corners. It is so tough to go in and duel, but Sin finds it pretty easy.
Massive frag to find, especially considering the opening that gives in towards the A site. Of course, that being said, you still have to find these pushes, and Visor caught out in the open. Coffee quickly traded to Ethan Swift on the trigger finger to allow the plant to come down. It's a man advantage in the hands of NYIT as they put themselves forward, and they even get out. Getting out of the site in order to play this post plant was critical, and they've done just that.
Yep, they do not have the Astra on their side, which is often what they would use to have that star well right underneath the bomb, but they can still play quite well. They do have the Rays on the back end. Rare. They have all of the blast pack if they want to get a little bit close and comfortable, but this one's going to be a lot more of sprays. Playing from the opposite side. Sin, oh, is just so disciplined. They play from that tight connecting corridor and just putting some sprayed shots. They're going to find him in that tight 90-degree angle, and that'll be advantage back over to NYT. They maintain their 2-round lead through the first 4. And SNHU, they were left kind of down a man and a half considering how low C-Dubs was in HP. And so we're going to see them kind of on the bounce back when it comes to their next buy.
Yeah, and that kill, that opening kill, specifically onto Hilton, a guy you just can't afford to lose in that space. Hilton was important because was able to hold back the push in through Art and towards Short. So it just wasn't enough. Not enough time. Bladestorm now popped out and prepared, but Agron going to be stalled out for the time being. 0 Point does good work in order to deny that.
I've not seen a lot of KO played on Pearl, but considering the no fun police, this is actually a great shutdown when you have to still work against the Jet utility. If Jet is to be that spiritual, well, it was predecessor, now successor again to Chamber. That's gonna be 2 in the Chamber as both Ethan and Xycer are able to drop Hilton as well as Agron inside of that tight corridor. They may re-hit that, but no, it's gonna be down B long. Killjoy and Peachy will back it all the way up. They will maintain control of tower with all of their gadgets hanging on tight. They may set off these swarm grenades just to at least put a little bit of pressure based on movement, but no one, man, Sin is right outside of that distance. It's a flawless round, and Cybears execute just beautifully.
I mean, that really did look like perfection. Nothing really to talk about with regard to negatives for NYT. What I will say though is at the start of that round, right? You saw the 0 Point come alive. Don't know if that 0 Point has been going over to that direction every round. It's been towards mid, but that's something to note, right?
Yep.
Is the consistency with which we've been seeing that 0 Point have effect. That's the power of the KO. That's why we have 2 KOs on the field at the moment. The other thing to talk about is NYT now farming up a few ultimates of their own and have a pretty significant advantage when it comes to those in this round.
Yeah, this is a straight up save round. They're gonna parade their way through with the null command. The 0 Point knife does come out, so they won't have full power. And trying to be able to nail them from distance, they do, but traded out immediately. Ethan's able to get rid of Koff. They're gonna put the cyber cage down to be able to put another trap wire as well. And they're gonna try and split the field from that side corner. They do not see them. Visor gets rid of C-Dubs. Neural Theft will go out, so they're gonna get a quick ping, but the spray is happening and the attack is actually just going awry.
This is brutal. And Visor's so low.
Oh my goodness.
Might die to the bot. Yeah, it's gonna have to commit to taking that out. Hilton on the defuse, holding up to the halfway point and take the fight. Peachy for the quad. Magical moments from that player. Peachy stepping up big time with the pistol of all things. It just got a little bit out of hand for NYT. They weren't quite ready for the pinch onto that site. We saw C-Dubs go down, and they thought, okay, well, everything's just fine now. We can take a moment and regroup. No, that was not the case. SNHU swiftly coming in to find those additional picks.
It's actually really surprising because 3 of them got hit by the 0 Point knife, and that is ultimately what shut down their total attack. You feel that confidence when you're the one with the KO with the null command. You're like, yeah, everyone else is having a bad time. We're having a good time. Well, so did like at least 60% of your squad. So turns into a rocky time, and that doesn't turn into a 5-1. Instead, it's a 4-2. NYT will suffer another quick loss as Agron moves all the way up, supported by their KO and that long B, and so they're going to work their way from this default back towards the bomb, and they're going to have to worry about if and when these guys will be striking from B, but it's in the minds of SNHU. They got in, they got out, they got a kill, and now they've put that just a little bit of doubt in the back of the mind of the Cybears.
I love that ultra aggressive maneuver from SNHU. It definitely gives them some confidence, and Agron doesn't need to take this fight, and that's why you see them fall back immediately. As soon as they see some information, they're like, all right, now we know what's going on. Now we know where we can be. Showstopper comes out. That goes by the wayside, and things are not looking great for NYT.
You look at this lurk too. You have their KO all the way opposite, so they're actually going to flank into tower and draw a lot of this pressure looking at him from long B, and they're going to try and catch him here. Ethan is looking straight at him. If they're going to go into this connector, they have no idea that they're going to get him, but they actually don't get the double trade. They will end up with a second kill, but they could have been able to get 2 if they had just waited a little bit longer. This will be a free plant onto A, but free is not the name of the game as they're blocking default, and they will be able to get a kill with that Hunter's Fury. Hilton finds another. That's still damage going on to Sin.
3-on-2 now with that advantage gone. The shots, though, required from Sin creates a 1v1, but it's Ice coming around from the back door. 1-on-1 now. Sagren gonna take the time, get the half on the defusal. They know that the time is ticking, but Agren hits it anyway. Quick and easy. The defense continues to find success here as SNHU have recovered. It's 3-4.
What a thematic tag to have in that moment. Bear shrug. Oh, dude, hit him with the shades. They're cool with it.
It's all good.
Yep, everything's gravy. And so, what should have been, or maybe at least had a high probability to could have been a 5-1, went to 4-2. And then trying to navigate off a rotation over to B, and then having that lurker with Ethan in the middle of those connectors back to A. It all ran away from him. And this is just a festival of 0-point knives. The no fun police is out to play, and there is an operator in the hands of Agron. Oh, and they will drop a bullet straight to Sen's skull.
That was such a swift split as well. You love to see that. Nice. Not quite looking at the right direction, and this has been ultra aggression from SNHU, and this is where you just start to gather confidence and you start to be able to start rolling over your opponents one after another. We saw aggression towards B the last round. Now it's all 3 players aggressing mid in this round. I love to see this. This is SNHU playing some of their best Valorant yet.
C-Dubs is going to have a quick look at Visor. Just think that everything is clear. Oh, they're already peeking, trying to be able to get that shoulder kill, but that's actually Visor that wins. A little bit of peeker's advantage. C-Dubs just can't be able to land any shots, and so they will go out from getting a kill, and they're going to retreat. I don't know which way they're going to go. It seems to be a lean, and they're going to call Visor to move over with Ethan. They've only got about 30 seconds coming up to be able to get this plant. They're going to be met at this dog leg here. Coffee's going to stay behind box because they know they have to make a move one way or the other. It's either going to be the bots that side them out because you do have that Killjoy Sentinel turret waiting on him. That's a quick kill. The bomb will be dropped, and now Visor's left in a pickle. And from distance, 15 seconds, that's going to be tough. The jiggle peek and a little bit of damage at least tells them, hey, Visor's here.
Yeah, this is lost regardless of that frag. Agren, the operator, doing wonderful work. 3 in this round, and it is that aggression that we were talking about before that really allows them to have so much space to operate. You should never be allowed this much, but I mean, they had no idea. No clue whatsoever, and a swift flick as well, might I add. 1 target. But nonetheless, a change to be made. NYIT on the save, or rather, are on a timeout here, looking to think about what they can do to maybe save themselves what has been a pretty embarrassing couple of rounds considering the dominance they were showing in the first 5.
Yeah, this went from the first half of the first half, those first 6 being a 5-1 near shutout, to now a 4-4 even Stevens against NYIT. And I believe you were right. I think they're going to be going into a save as well. So there's a lot to talk about on this one. Agren, honestly, those are one of those moments that really kind of help defines and really kind of puts an opponent on their heels because they're in shell shock. It feels like the woulda, coulda, shoulda was in their favor, and it's not. They have been pushed away from. They had some property out in Plaza, but it was all of an Airbnb. Well, the landlord came in. They said, "You owe us for some extra days." They said, "Well, we're out of rent money," and now they've been kicked out. So it's gonna be Stingers and Light Shields, kind of a half save. But Stingers are pretty good on the running gun, Vincent. I've hit a few. It's basically Call of Duty with that gun, so maybe they'll be able to work something out.
As me and my friend Los like to say, the best sniper in the game here, the Stinger. You know, sometimes it just works better. So Ethan nearly getting his head chopped off there, loses a toe, but he'll live to see another day. Only temporary, as Sin, the only one to find success this round. A little upgrade for his troubles at the very least, but the low HP Sen still working strong.
Concealment.
Agron trying to see if anyone's still hanging out. They may get another fast flip
Player
onto
standing.
Visor, but that's going to be Peachy that does find Sen, and now Agron, is actually going to drop their op. Visor will not chase it down, and actually a little bit of timing. They have no idea that Peachy is going to be around from behind them. This becomes a 1-on-2. This is recoverable as long as they don't get seen, but the timing is there, and, cut, print, credits, roll. Peachy is now with SNHU. They've been able to take 4 in a row. It was a dominant feature in the beginning, but so far SNHU, they now have a 1-round lead, and they're looking pretty good.
Not just pretty good, very
Yeah.
good. And
Yeah.
the other thing to note, right? It's not as if they are losing out on these eco rounds either. The other option is they didn't waste any ultimates in this previous round, right? They still have 4 ults ready to go in this one. They could use any of those to get an aggressive maneuver, Blade Storm and such.
Find
But
you.
for now, it's just going to be bodies. So they're throwing those bodies up mid. That Haunt doesn't actually end up finding all that much info. Great work
them
just
down.
to deny that.
You have a couple of cosmic divides on the field that could get activated any time to be able to turn these sites into a quarter of what they once were, and you got to play some medieval checkers to be able to move around. But they think about A, and then they start maneuvering back over towards B. They're trying to make it as little noise as possible because they know that Plaza is a point of ownership and contention for both sides. They have all of a minute here into round number 10 to really get some better control. The recon bolt comes out. They realize that they can't find anyone, can't identify, but they got to take down this sight line. They do not get rid of C-Dubs, but they do trade them out. Sin is able to get at least one.
You saw that recon bolt come out over towards A main. Gives the info that there's no one actually there, and so that's why the aggression comes through in towards Plaza. Great work. A little bit of a pull and a push from SNHU.
Watching here.
But NYT, nice trade. Able to take
30
that area
seconds
of the
left.
map. They'll continue to move forward. But with the alarm bot being triggered, Peachy knows what's going down and has a lockdown
Face your
thrown
fear.
to play around.
Gonna be all the way back. They do get marching, so they could put at least one extra prowler if they want to. They know they're going to be going up into tower. That's a lot of damage, and they are doubled up on top of Infinity Prime. Maybe that lockdown will get used. The Cosmic Divide does get used up. Agron is able to get rid of Visor. Visor had Hilton as well, so constant trades as the Haunt does find its way through that starry side wall. Will they be able to get one through this blind push? They don't get identified by the 0-point knife, and now they have the tailwind up. That is a diffuse going through. They have it at least halfway, which means there's great advantage in the 1v2, make it none. SNHU will be able to finish it off, and they have now gotten 5 in a row.
You mentioned checkers. This was a chess game right here. Back and forth. The Nightfall. Then comes the Cosmic Divide alongside the lockdown and the additional Cosmic Divide offensively to try and make sure that they can have some space to work with themselves. It was a back and forth the whole way through, but the reality is that that lockdown really applied the additional pressure, made sure that the positions were so limited for NYIT. The trades came in for SNHU. They do the deeds and they do the damage. And look at the money. It's busted. It's just not enough. A hero rifle in hands of ice, trying to do what they can.
Trying to make up for it with some very overt aggression. They know they're not a great position financially, and so they're trying to run it down, maybe get over with this current round with a sheriff in hand. But Infinity Prime at least gets one. They are able to tap Peachy out, and they're very low on health. Doesn't really matter. They're still going to lead the charge, at least be that bit of reconnaissance. They put down the cyber cage. They're able to open up some space. They don't have to work it from B long to have to fight against that turret, and that means all the gadgets on site are useless. Doesn't mean the players are. So it's in this 4v4, still a lot of good in hand, especially with an ult command. They're going to try and make this one even faster.
They are a little bit of a lurk, but nice work from Hilton. That's going to find the information that's required, and that will give all of the push is required. Visor, excuse me, able to connect that first shot, and this is now a 1-on-2. The blades are technically available, but I don't know if you want to use them here in such a odd situation. Crossfire's too perfect. And Visor will collect the final frag. This has been close the whole way, and NYIT with a brilliant read of the situation, realizing that there's 3 players aggressive and aren't, and that means there's got to be a hole somewhere else in the map. You can't have 3 players there without somewhere else being open. They take the gamble, they realize it's B, and they put themselves in position to win a round that was going to be nigh impossible otherwise.
To all my KO mains out there, I'm like a KO like secondary kind of guy. It feels like our fate as soon as we pop that null command is to die. It just, you know, you become like a beacon and you will die. That's just what's gonna happen.
It's sort of like the guy who gets rezzed. You just
You're bait.
instant dead.
Yeah. But you know what? You did your duty. You shut down everyone else. Hilton getting very aggressive. They're going to go right behind Excicerare. They do side him out. They're waiting to see 2. They know that they're getting sided out. They're able to get 2. Oh my goodness. Going to make them look silly. And now immediately popping to be able to create some space with that Hunter's Fury. They're thinking that they're right on the opposite edge of that dog leg. But instead, Hilton is going to leave with a recon dart. Just saying, you know what? You can't come towards me because I'll see you.
And Agron coming from behind with these blades is just another problem for this squad. Oh, a little dicey, but ultimately going to be there in the favor of Agron. SNHU still with a big advantage. Wow, blades still struggling a little bit, but the health not a whole lot. Infinity Prime, that'll be a flawless round for SNHU, closing out this half with a victory.
So while they did recover, YT takes a while to be able to get their 5th round, and in that fashion, of those last 6, the majority go over to SNHU and Hilton. What a great and clever way to be able to get a couple. Our Agron used nearly every single blade just to be able to shove one into the stomach of Visor, and then finally making this swing happen. Agron is going to be coming in with that op. So Agron and Hilton taking control and taking care of our dozenth round, our last round of the first half, but we flipped sides. And I feel like the Cybears are prepped for a better defense working on this. I thought that with their setup that I've seen them do here on Pearl, but it's up to SNHU, and they could be able to really set themselves up early for a 9 if they get a good pistol.
Yeah, definitely this round pretty important for both sides, as you mentioned. SNHU potential for 9 if things go right, but NYT could tie this right back up. Could be essentially a even game. In just a moment. With all that being said, a bit of poking and prodding over at B-Long. It's all just a bit of a ruse. Everybody else headed towards A. Spike is in, and nobody's actually going to commit to defending this site.
Oh boy. Agron is deep in the trenches. This is World War I level stuff. They have no idea if anyone's behind them, and actually they may get caught with timing, and they will. Actually, Coffee will be able to get them later, but Excicerare finds Agron finally on the back end. A lot of trades, and one thing that I did not mention, Ethan is able to find C-dubs, and I'll go back to that point. My TED Talk will hold for now. Excicerare waiting on the defuse, and that's Hilton that's going to swing wide. That triple click. Oh, is they're able to make a right click here out of them. Do they get a spam as they pick up a ghost? They're trying to be able to quick duel, and it's going to be a 4K for Hilton. Hold that thought. However, SNHU looking great on the recovery, and Hilton led the charge.
What a turnaround. You thought things were over if you're SNHU, right? Agron and that flank, it had to come up big. It gets denied. Only a 1-for-1. Only for Hilton to somehow sneak his way in towards the back line. I don't know how he did it, but it was brilliant, to say the least. You have a huge pistol, as mentioned. Now the chance to really push this advantage and make it your own. SNHU on the buy here, and actually they're headed the right direction. 3 players pressing, and this is a bit of a quick and easy entry into the B area. 2 players dead already.
Back angle, Agron's direct contact with Sin, but Sin is able to win. Frenzy Gang assembled. Actually, it's C-dubs that finds 3, and that'll be plant that comes through, but ultimately the first couple on the second half goes to SNHU. But one thing that I was going to point out, it seems, at least on paper, theory-wise, NYT has a really good defensive setup because you have the Cypher tripwires, you have a really good expanse, so you can be able to have him with his cam, as well as the Cyber Cage setups, but they also have the couple of initiators that can get some good intel, and it feels like the Killjoy may be kind of hamstrung in how aggressive they can really be on the setups, opening opening up space with a lockdown, it's not as free as you know what you would think and see when it comes to maps like Ascent. But they're just working it by winning, straight up winning these duels and having big individual plays like Hilton has pushed up.
Well, I mean, especially out of that pistol round, that was the big individual play moment. But I think it also has come down to some massive team play efforts. Those pushes we saw on the more defensive side, where they had three-man pushes in towards the plaza consistently. That was exactly what you wanted to see. Peachy gonna get flashed in. Ethan, somehow that flash not so successful. Fragment not going to deny further entry, though, for NYIT. Free gun, by the way. Infinity able to take out one before meeting his maker. It's 3-3 on the man advantage front. NYIT just baiting out a little bit, not wanting to overcommit, but it'll be the SNHU plant and post plant now.
They plant for long. They don't really have much in the way of lineups. Exisa Rare is going to be the first to at least get eyes on sight, as everyone else is kind of tamed all the way back to the tower. And it could be a bit of blind. Yes, it's going to be a fast trade. Sin is able to grab them as the Nebula didn't fully cover topside, but as they drop in, C-Dubs finds Visor, so it becomes a 1-on-2. Do they peel the same way? They could get cut on this timing. They're going to try and find it from this forced corner. They go in. There's not a whole lot of HP. They're going to fake it until they make it, and that's going to be the well that seemingly would pull them away. Oh, they still get caught in the vulnerability, so that's kind of rough, and they have to deal with the repercussions. So 3 in a row. They will break the eco of the Psy Bears. And, you know, sticking around, why not copy with a last little bit of BM? That is really rough for NYIT. This was their map choice, and SNHU, they've run away with it since round number 6.
It's not over yet. I mean,
Sure.
it is definitely a tough task to come back from this point, and even worse, right? NYIT, what do you do here? Do you buy? Do you save? Some people have some money, some people don't, and I think this is going to ultimately be the right decision. You go for a bit of a half approach, try to play aggressive, and aggression is on the cards. NYIT starting to at least attempt to do some of the things that we saw from SNHU. Of course, a poor imitation considering the wide open A site that SNHU are very slowly walking into. But Ethan, the double kill with the Spectre and Visor anti-up, grabbing the frag. It's up to 2.
About to call this the Wish version of SNHU, but Hilton now is going to get some extra intel as he's got the Owl Drone tagging Sin. They're going to try and chase down Sin. Do they get aggressive to be able to just punish him for doing this in such a close proximity? No, it's Peachy that comes from the tight side angle. They're going to use that flank, and it's the usage of that Hunter's Fury that gives Peachy such an easy and open run up into that connector to go on the flank angle to A, and now they've got a free run to B. It's got to be this 1v2, more like 1.5 when you look at the HP bars, but Hilton has come alive late in the first half and early into the second, just looking so great to give the likes of SNHU this big chance.
The other thing to talk about, though, nanoswarms, right, and shock darts that are available. Don't know if there's any particular lineup that Hilton has available here, but what I do know is he's got 2 shock darts prepared. The nanoswarm is down on the field as well. So, Infinity Prime hasn't had the chance to have the ultra high impact plays just yet. Is required to make them here. Could really save NYIT.
Oh, as soon as that bot goes off, 5 HP, get chopped down, and there's just not a lot of time. And they do have the lineup here with the shock darts. They'll fly overhead, though, as the recon bolt comes out, and they'll be able to see him. Nice wall bang. That's
brutal.
It's not even a lineup. It's just, well, I guess lining up your skull, right? But
yeah.
So,
I mean,
wow.
it's a very smart play, right? Like that's one of those things, though, that if you're Hilton, right, you're just guaranteeing yourself a round win, and on the other side of that, you just feel bad because there's just nothing you can do. There's no counterplay. There's no nothing, and that definitely will be a hit to the mental of the NYIT squad, particularly when you consider that. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but this was an NYIT team that won against SNHU early in the season.
They did. That was a 2-0. I don't know if it was on Pearl. They're looking like a completely different beast, and so is SNHU. They are the predator, while NYT, these bears are the prey. Maybe they've gone into an early hibernation. Cybears need to wake up. This map isn't done yet, but we say that in the most waning of ways. NYT gonna hold this defense. It's at least man pressure, as they had the null command kind of force them out. So SNHU will at least consider the idea of rotating. You have two on the swing moving outside of Park. Does Peachy be able to win it? No. Sin has been able to win those individual duels. Now Sin is actually thinking maybe they'll utilize that knife fall to keep them at bay, but this is a squad in SNHU that wants to be able to take over Plaza again.
This is a really dangerous type of play for SNHU. Very interesting considering Visor is going to get that trade and gets away as well. Massive considering Ice's position. All they need to do is hold back for one more moment, and it's going to be Visor to stop the onslaught. Agren last alive, but alive no longer. It's 4 frags for Visor. Massive requirement for NYIT to make their way back into this game, but it's not over yet. They still have a long road ahead of them.
They do. There's a lot in the bank, but SNHU has been looking systematic about how they want to get onto these sites. We're going to see, let's see. We got Blade Storm will be coming up, assumedly, as long as that, we're not trusting in the Classic to get us anywhere, but because of this bank, SNHU says, all right, let's lean onto that one, as well as maybe the null command as a wombo combo to be able to get them on. They're looking at mid and who is to aggress against them. Look how far back the Cybears are. They don't want to deal with that null command or the Blade Storm early. They want to have to force us into tight quarters combat, make it even tougher for that precision type killing machine that is Agron.
Yeah, I think the other side of that, right, is they don't want to overcommit anywhere. We saw that nearly bite them in the butt last round. NYT getting a little bit lucky that SNHU's rotations were a bit weird. And so, but as you mentioned, null command, you pop that could just give you a wide entry into the site. So might as well just give it that up.
Yep, a little bit of extra space, and timing is in SNHU's favor. They could be able to keep these rifles for long. Tower is currently Occupado E1. And Blade Storm and the null command will come out in a bit of a split force. You have one in the dog leg and a triplicate of players coming in through Art. The Recon Dart will be able to identify them. The Nightfall comes through as well. How many Prowlers does it take to be able to get one? You get a nice headshot. Ethan is going to be dropped. Trying to be able to get another. They get it. And that's in third. No. It's going to be Xysera that trades out the other duelist in Agron. And they'll be able to get rid of that bomb. Now it leaves Coffee by themselves. But they're in an interesting position as they're on this backside flank.
Not only that, but the HP of 2 of these 3 players is so incredibly low. That's the high health member that's already down. A crossfire of swords, but it's going to be difficult. Bait, and there's the shot for Sen. Low health, no problem at all. 11 HP is plenty to hit the heady. And 7 rounds now for NYIT SNHU. Forced onto an eco for the first time this half.
It has been a while since we've seen the Cybears get 2 rounds in a row at all.
I mean, it was 4-1, right?
Yeah, it was.
The last time they had 2.
Yeah, and since then it's been all but a memory. It's been a I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark moment almost for the Cybears. It was having one in between all of those, but they get a couple, and now this is an aggressive push by SNHU. They are just running this down. They know that they're kind of on the opposite end of advantage when it comes to the weapon differential, so they're just going to say, you know what, it's Stinger Gang time. It's time for the parade.
Yeah, a fair idea. Duel gonna continue. Peachy out onto the site. A massive shot. Nice adjustment. Now Ethan will continue. It's like shooting fish in a barrel for him. A couple of frags. It's Coffee with the Marshall left alone. 1 on 3. Any additional damage though? Would be nice. Nice though. I tend to feel that that's probably gonna be less and less likely as the amount of utility increases. And actually, nicely done. You know, a little 1 for the road. I'll take that.
I know that the Marshall shot came from Coffee, but because it happened the exact same time that the Vandal shot hit them and they exploded into that ball, it was like they got just popped like a party favor, just boom, just everything came alive at the same moment. So thank you, Riot, and your wonderful animations department to be able to make that happen, as well as the sound department. That is just so cool. But let's talk about this. This is now a difference. When, if you're SNHU, we saw a timeout earlier for NYT when it got to 4-4. When do you start taking this a little bit seriously and take your own timeout?
It's a good question. And I think that we haven't. Okay. Well, I mean, you asked about seriousness. I feel like that's pretty serious, right?
Yeah.
You know, an opening pick, a split towards the B site. Only one player remains here, and it's Visor. Visor's required to get at least 2 in order to find this, and it's only a singular frag. The man advantage contained in the fact that the ult advantage is still here as well. Can put down the lockdown and really make this their own if SNHU want to.
So much open space. The showstopper really doesn't get much, as you do have the paint shells to be able to create a little bit of openness. They're going to try and get rid of one. Where do they put it down? They do have the big blast pack to be able to get them there. The splash damage doesn't come out. They actually just play on the timing of that blast pack. They're trying to be able to get rid of Peachy, but Peachy is too keen, as they finally will move themselves up to 12 with the deficit that was created. You think that we would have been here sooner, but better sooner than, well, I guess later? No, later than sooner? I don't know. Better to get here. Now NYT has all the pressure.
Exactly. And not only the pressure when it comes to the fact that the scoreline is 12-8, the pressure when it comes to the money and their investments into this round. They've got a couple of rifles. Sure, that's great. Of course, it's not all that they have. They have SMGs at hand, 3 of those, in fact. It's not ideal, but the 0 point, that's a lot of info. I think that caught probably 3 players. It's going to be the Cosmic Divide for SNHU to put down at Beach. Grant them at least a free plant onto the site, counter Cosmic Divide as well from the defense. But I'll be honest, I feel like it really has granted too much entry into this for the defense.
Now the lockdown's out. It's going to keep everyone at bay. Is going to be going for that plant, but you do have the Hunter's Fury. A lot of bodies are dropping. Hilton is able to get rid of Sin.
It didn't get the lockdown though.
It did not.
One enemy remaining.
It's gone. Hey, that left pretty quickly. Hilton, they're finding a 3-can Visor, and this is for the money from close quarters proximity. Excicer has to be able to fight through the fire. The flames are actually being popped straight back into the swarm grenade, and they're able to get one. They get the stinger on target. Oh, but it's going to be the shock dart. Hilton 2 electric as they get a 4K in the final round. 13-8 goes the way of SNHU.
I did tell you that Stinger is a sniper, my friend. It happens.
It is.
It's like once a map, it's just like, oh, okay, that's actually just a sniper rifle if you use the burst. I get it. No, it's fine. Whatever. But nonetheless, there was a massive turning point, and I think it would be unfair of us not to talk about it. At 4-1, what happens? SNHU win an eco round. They win a round where they had, what, 1 rifle invested? And that was where everything changed. That was where the moment, where the entire mental of NYIT just crumbled to pieces, it seemed, because from then on it was a fight for every single moment, every single round, and NYIT only got a few more of those. Sure, 13-8 at the end of the day looks close. It was not nearly as close as that scoreline suggested.
Yeah, that was a fourth quarter fight back just to make it look respectable at the end of the game. But ultimately, that was SNHU in control. That was a change of the mental game, a change. It was a paradigm shift in the economy. And SNHU looks really good tonight. And they're trying to be Titan killers regardless of what seed they were coming out of the regular season. They look fantastic. And we're going to be going to their map pick on the other side of a short break. So make sure you guys stick with us. We'll be here for map number 2 going to Haven right after this.
Hey guys, KTAD here, and just like that, another season of ECAC Esports regular season play has come to a close. Over the last 8 weeks, we saw a crazy amount of hype competition from some of the best collegiate esports has to offer, and as usual, you guys have me one last time to break it all down and to show you guys what we thought were some of the top plays this week. And honestly guys, I don't have much more to say. just check it out because I think we've got some really incredible clips here. Let's take a look. In our opening clip, it's Professor Dementium with a straight boot off the stage to kick things off for Bloomfield.
Got himself one. Kick back off stage though. But the air dodge is going to be that Bowser. He'll do it again, and he'll also bring himself that down smash so he gets quickly back before that Falcon's able to take any sort of advantage. But well, you're gone. The spikes come through. It's a clean kick to wrap things up, and well, he's got one. He's got one stock for his troubles.
Up next, the duel of Donkers and Robeast have some things to say with this beautiful 1-2 combo to close the door on Albany.
Hit the intersection and go straight up in the air for Robeast, who's going to work Central Missouri into the offense. Flip reset's a good one. The pass down to Donkers, and he finds the net. A 3-goal deficit in Game 3.
I gotta say, Curtis, it seems like after these two teams came out of Game 2, right? Again.
In our next play, who needs to be able to see your enemy when you can just take a educated guess?
Great, 1-for-1 over towards Catwalk. There's still more where that came from. Iranium is next up, and he will take a couple too many fights. Solsta as well is going to be able to take a couple of fights, winning them both. It's a 1v3, and Novacorium won't be able to do anything. Johnson, Wales.
At number 5, it's Saltonics with this huge flank onto Cole College to secure Temple of Anubis for his team.
Right now, it's got to be just destroying it straight up. Maybe with the Coalescence, maybe the Supercharger, but that Riptire could just immediately rip through.
Here's that Riptire. It does move Joker, but it could have been a catastrophic play. Now Nightbolt is pulled all the way off the point, and that's an easy one. Tonic's coming in with the triple off of that crucial Rocket Barrage, and that is all of them off the point.
Now it's down to Joker just to get the touch onto the point. Tracer.
Coming back to the Bloomfield versus Keen matchup, it was a clutch finish from Zenipu as he finishes off Brandon without dropping a single stock.
No, one more lease on life. Lease on life indeed for Brandon. Looking to hold the ledge, but a recovery from Zenipu. He says second time's the charm. He'll send him to the moon, and once again, Zenipu will not drop a stock.
Blast packing our way into the number 2 spot though. It's a 4K from Butta to cement the lead for Providence College.
Back roads around the high ground to try and avoid that as much as possible.
Oh my absolute days! Here was me looking for that Transcendence to counteract the grab, and no, it was just a big fat go button. In comes the pulse bomb, down goes Studi Poly Wildcats.
Phil, I can't remember the last time I've seen...
Blast packing our way into the number 2 spot though. It's a 4K from Butta to cement the lead for Providence College.
Not much more. That tap can go a long way in the latter half, right? Now Retna bringing out that Stimmy, trying to get the opportunity to move the team in forward. Okay, there's that showstopper I was thinking about. It looks like D-Nuns is going to have that show stopped. Sal, not particularly far behind, a 4v2. But really starting to wake up here on the race.
Yeah, wow, so impressive. And 4K there, just going straight through the entire team like a bulldozer. Will not stop until all are taken down.
And in our top play from the last week of regular season play, it is a nail-biter last-second goal that will keep you guessing until the very end.
Own open, a little bit of high pass, you angle it in, but it's just off the top of the goalpost.
Off the top of the goalpost, coming in deep. Matrix able to find something here. The demolition comes through. 7 seconds left for a true game win, but in overtime, feeling incredibly likely. But tied out of a wide open goal. No! No! Orbital, the waffle iron has been flipped, and Farmingdale finds themselves up 4-3. 2 seconds left on the clock. The only hope for Louisville to win this out is with a kickoff goal. They cannot make a single mistake, or they will.
And with that, I mean, what more do you guys want me to say? It was a crazy week to wrap things up, but it's really just been a crazy season overall with the addition of Division A and what I personally think is some of the most competitive action here in collegiate esports. I mean, what a season, and there's only much more to come. With the playoffs starting on April 4th, you guys can expect to see a lot more action that will continue all throughout the month, and that will wrap up on the week of April 25th. Now, if you guys want to stay up to date on all of that, make sure you follow us on Twitter at ECAC_esports, or follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/ECAC_esports. Mondays and Tuesdays, matches will be lighting off at 8 p.m. Eastern. On Wednesdays, it is going to be the doubleheader of Rocket League and Overwatch at 7 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you guys are tuned in. And as for me and the rest of the crew behind the scenes that works on not only just the production, but these highlight videos for you guys, we just want to say thank you for joining us for what has been another incredible season. And we look forward to so much more that we're going to bring you guys in the next school year, in the fall and the spring and beyond. We've got a lot of great things coming, so stick around, don't go anywhere. Come back right here to this channel, to this Twitter, to this Twitch, to this YouTube, wherever it is you see this. Stay tuned, because even more is on the way. Thank you guys once again. I've been KTAD. It's been a wonderful season, and we'll see you next time.
First, can you just tell me a little bit about yourself?
Hi, so my name is Caitlin. I'm a part of Farmingdale State College's Esports Club. I am captain of the Valorant Green Team. I am a second semester sophomore at Farmingdale State College, and I'm 19 years old.
Okay, do you like Farmingdale so far?
Yeah, it's really great. The program I'm in is very specialized, and it's not offered that often in the East Coast, so it's pretty nice. I enjoy it.
And what's your major?
My major is aerospace professional pilot degree.
Oh, wow, that's really cool.
Thank you.
So, is this your first time on an esports team?
No, so I've been a part of the Valorant team for 2 semesters, and this is my third semester, and it's my first time ever being a captain.
Okay, oh, that's awesome. Can you tell me a little bit about what it's like being a captain?
So a lot of times I'm organizing the team, making sure everyone is properly set for upcoming games, um, getting scrims for our team, and kind of just making sure everyone is there, present, and possible, and able to play the games that we're gonna, be participating in. We're participating in 2 leagues this semester, so it's kind of hectic.
Oh gosh, yeah, definitely. I can see that. How is it different for you as a player versus as a captain? Do you feel a lot of responsibility?
It's beginning to feel a lot like playoffs. We're going into map number 2 between SNHU and NYIT Cybears. I'm Hail Monkey Man in the booth alongside Vincent. We just got done with Pearl, but like you said, Vincent, it feels like this one was all SNHU after round 6. So I gotta wonder, from your optic, we're gonna be going into Haven pre-Ascent, which maybe would be our decider of this best of 3. Now, they didn't start off very strong, but sure as heck did they end strong.
They absolutely did. And there's one play that I want to talk about, and it's more of a general concept, but I think it's going to really carry over in the favor of SNHU into map number 2 if they can continue to do that, and that is defensive aggression. If they can do that as well as they did over on Pearl, on Haven, I think there's a possibility that this is a 2-0 the favor of SNHU, despite the fact that they come in and the seeding as underdogs. I mean, well, to be fair, they were the underdogs in the last matchup too. 7th seed versus the 2nd seed, no problem. They come in as the 7th seed versus the 3rd here now, and I gotta say, impressed me in map number 1.
Yeah, that was just good execution. They seemed to give up Plaza early, and then they took over Plaza, and it became more of a timeshare for NYIT to be able to get a bit of time to just enjoy a bit of a rental. But we go over to Haven. It is our 3-site puzzle that will be here into the next competitive season. A little bit different, a little bit fun, and it will incur the wrath of needing to know if you can be aggressive enough to win some of that space. That's a big thing I've been talking with a lot of other casters. Big community portion is creating space through aggression, and if you can do that on a map that is split on these 3 sides, much like Haven is, then you're on the right track to success.
Oh, this is very interesting. I haven't really seen the Cypher here in a long time. That is new at least to me, because forever, at least for the last, I don't know, 6 months, we've been seeing double initiator. I guess technically there's 2 initiators in this composition, but the lack of a fade is the key that I'm kind of getting at here for SNHU. That's different, and that's pretty cool. I'm really excited to see what Peachy and this Cypher can do and can put to use. On the other side of things, I'd say a little bit more standard, though what's interesting is both teams electing to go chamberless. I mean, it's kind of was sort of expected on Pearl. Chamber isn't always picked out there, so we weren't necessarily surprised. Here, Chamber's a must pick, at least was, prior to the last patch. Neither team's electing to go for it is really interesting, Hail Monkey Man.
It's really calling out the way that the patching has kind of incurred, and a big change as well. Excicerare is going to go away from that Raze over instead to the Jet. I've seen them be so much better on Jet versus a Raze composition. You will have the Omens across the board. Yeah, Peachy on that Cypher is a call out all the way to beta form, like season 1 of Haven, and this is, yeah, like you said, it's been a little bit out of whack for Cypher, but because they got the extension when it comes to their tripwires, and as of course being able to have that extra neural theft, that helps so much, especially for a map as kind of wide and leveled as this 3-sider is for Haven. I wonder how that's going to work. Is this a concept of SNHU is trying to do more of the new, and NYT is hanging on too long to the old? Maybe?
I think that there's been adjustments on both sides, actually, because they're just slightly different. On the one side, you're keeping a hold of a Sentinel, right? You have, but it's 2 different styles, right? You have on one side, Cypher. On the other side, you're working with the Killjoy. And I think the Killjoy, for me, has always been a little hit or miss on this map. Though effective, yes, but it's the lockdown that is particularly difficult to use. I'm really interested to see how those sort of interactions go. And the continuation of the fade is the other part for Infinity. Do love to see that. I still think that fade is going to be effective.
Yeah, the fade combo alongside that breach, maybe they have a little bit of extra orbs that they have to gather to be able to use them, but trying to be able to blind fire. Excicerare hits nothing but air, and this one is hitting everyone to the ground immediately. Peachy is trying to survive long enough onto this attack, which, by the way, everyone did flip starting sides as a maneuver through this dark cover. Peachy is being caught from all edges. They will be surrounded, and Frenzy Gang rise up. Sin, which this is the first map I ever saw Sin go pop off on, especially on a breach. I expect them to be a massive weapon in the arsenal of the Cybears.
Well, I mean, let's talk massive weapons, because you talked about another guy, Ice, on now the Jet roll. I gotta keep it a buck, man. Not the greatest of showings on map number 1. I hate talking about it, but it's all right. That's just the reality. Yeah. But hey, the thing that is cool about this game is that you flip the map over, you play a different agent, instantly things can turn, and you can be going absolutely crazy. Well, I think we're going to need to see something a little bit better from Ice, and we've already done so in that first round.
Agron is going to take a lot of damage, and everyone gets vulnerable as the Swarm Grenade does go out, and already showing that Killjoy is, in fact, still very, very viable. Infinity Prime to be able to re-peek into Longside C, as they didn't exactly have the weapons to rail against the buy-up for the NYT Cybears, and now stuck in a corridor that they're not going to be able to find much of. These have been some fast opening rounds. My goodness, we are on a sprint.
In fairness, not a lot of tactical prowess in those rounds either. If you're SNHU, I've seen the old run it down C pistol strat many times before, and the run it down mid to C strat is also slight secondary to that. Nonetheless, no flaws in that. It's just not so effective in this case. NYIT, they're very tentative in their purchases here. This is a bonus round of every sort.
Can SNHU be able to run it out with full Vandals? The camera and giving a little wink over to Hilton. They're stuck with some blindness on that Marshall. Exisarare is trying to be able to find some cheeky, quick pushes, but nothing from outside of Sewer. Actually, they're stuck in a tough situation as Coffee gets on and does delete Exisarare from the equation, so it becomes a 5-on-4 as it was a lone Jet against the world surrounded from all sides.
Yeah, this is what we call free entry into the site if you are the attack, but SNHU, you're going to have to hang on to it. As I say that, Paranoia goes back and forth, and that's enough to allow for C-Dubs to find success with the Aftershock. So much utility being applied here.
Oh. Spectre does find its mark. Doppelganger syndrome between Visor and Coffee. Trying to be able to get something with that alarm bot. C-Dubs is hanging on to hell. Put all these guys in handbasket. The Guardian will hit and no one will miss, especially Hilton, who's able to find their mark. They get a wall bang and a half. I think they actually shot it through 2 skulls, and so making fast work of the re-hit by the Cybears. But this is a bit of deja vu. NYT did the first 2. SNHU got the 1 last time. This time, we're going to see if full rifles can hit. And Exisarare is already opting into the op.
Yeah, this is the round that really matters, right? Like, I don't want to pretend like last round was irrelevant because, hey, props, they got the round. It was, it was just, it's worth just as much as every other one. But they didn't really have weapons, did they? NYIT, now they do. And the operator, as mentioned, was going to have to fall back out of that. Here's the rest of the players coming for SNHU, and this could be pretty free entry on towards the A side. There was a smoke being put down, but Paranoia comes in, and nobody's actually there to play defense. Agron, a little bit of attack, but he'll stay alive for the time being.
The cyber cages do go down to take away those sidelines from Connector, and so they're pressed out from heaven. They're going to take over hell, and this is a great kind of just fort setup. You do always get them pushing that breach underneath that wall to be able to have that aftershock, and that's going to keep anyone from going out. It creates that horizontal space, and Agron is still continuously tagging. Exisarare is upstairs. The dark cover does go down to take them out of the equation, at least from that angle, and they will get sighted out. Agron was just waiting. They're like, I know you're peeking. I know you're peeking. You got to come out of there sometime, and they do.
You see that haunt up top gives what is a lot of information, but the reality is the time is just too far gone. SNHU with another victory. This one much more significant than the last, but the other side to that is that NYIT, they survive with 4 additional rifles. That's not something we've seen too often. To save 4 rifles and just essentially go, GG, go next, let's try again next round, that's a rarity. And I love the willingness for NYIT to take that decision. It's just so much respect to whoever's making those calls over there, because that's a hard decision to make. It's not easy to say, all right, guys, we've lost this round. We're going to just try again next time, but we're just going to save these guns.
Yeah, you go for the play where you're going for a high lethality rate off of the operator, and when you do not get that kind of kill and you've just seceded so much space for them to be able to take A, you know it's a lost cause. Ethan is going to be able to get one over Agron, as now this is still a march up into long C, but they're holding into that cubby, and the last time we were in this situation, the Cybears were able to get a lot of worth out of it. They're hanging on tight, and though they have at least one up into garage, they actually may move their way into window. That's going to be more of a peachy lurk than anything, as they may rotate further into B instead.
I love Peachy's position here, but it seems like there's an idea about this spot. Peachy isn't exactly unaware here. With that being said, the B hit should be coming, and that will be the case. Just a bit of a walk out through the smokes and onto the site. Now Peachy can make his mark. Potential for this is so high. Bit of a whiff. Eventually will connect, but it's just a single one. The help of Hilton will confirm 2 more. It's still no plant, but that's no problem. But maybe for Ethan, that can be the solution. Hilton finally looking to put that plant down, but that too gonna have to wait because of this lockdown.
And now they're actually seeing, okay, wait, that means that they're waiting on the flank from window in front of B. A is free. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to put the bomb down. I got plenty of time to be able to do it. And so they're going to take over both Heaven as well as put it outside of boxes. And guess what? They have the post plant hold with that Hunter's Fury. So good ideas to not rush, to not force the plant at B thinking it's their only option. They're actually able to navigate through middle of sight. Now it's a bit of cat and mouse. Hilton making sure that they take over Sewer. It takes a little bit of extra time, but the wallbang comes through, and now it is a very rough position for the retake for Ethan, and they have to face down an ult and one from Heaven.
Honestly, this feels unwinnable. It's so hard. He knows about the Heaven position, it seems like.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, but Hilton, a little over-aggressive, if I'm being honest. And, oh my goodness! What a massive misplay from SNHU! Is it going to be enough time? It's close! Oh, just half a second off of his mark. Ethan, with a brilliant play, taking advantage of SNHU making mistakes, but it's still not quite enough. It'll be SNHU to take the lead.
So Ethan, so they knew, even if it's unwinnable, make as much damage happen as possible. And if they can, force the hand of Hilton to use their Hunter's Fury.
Yeah.
And then okay, now that's off the board. Now we don't have to worry that for a separate round. And then Hilton thought better, like, hey, we have this 2-on-1. Let's get this done. So two guns come off the field, and Ethan almost became the hero there, 0.43 seconds away from being able to absolutely clutch that one up. Instead, SNHU, they'll be able to get that one, but just by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, that's a margin I don't personally think I'm so comfortable with. A scary one at that. Nonetheless, a victory's a victory. You know, gotta give props where it is due. 5-on-5 here now. That is swiftly turned on its head to be still even, but 4-side. Trying to play against this retake.
C-Dubs thought that they had the blind all easy to go. It's the 3-on-3, make it a 2. It's Coffee. Agron is able to find Sin. They're waiting for them to run it all in. The Prowler does identify at least one remaining Infinity Prime. Into that 1-on-2 as the plant is down in C. They have to face down long as well. I think the camera might be up. They can see them from that angle, and they're in the safe position. They're going to play for the save. It's going to be a retreat by SNHU to go over into CT. So a lot of time taken off the clock. At one point, I thought that NYT actually had that good defensive hold, but they made for that flank around long C, and that ended up being too great a distance to recover.
And I really don't think that the like positioning was the problem per se, and even the distance, right? It is longer, don't get me wrong, but it was the speed with which they were not able to find trades. SNHU consistently, every time somebody goes down, they were keeping it either even or a man advantage, and then when it comes to the 2-on-1, there's just no time to clear out all the angles. That's when the time becomes a real problem. SNHU doing a great job of those small things. They've now won a 4th round. That is massive. You consider that this started out looking so good for NYIT.
Yeah, but again, that was just the first couple, and you look pretty good after a pistol, and now we have 4 sheriffs and that same rifle that was saved for NYIT. This is not deja vu. This is simply equal but opposite. SNHU is the aggressor. If they've been able to take 4 in a row, Excicerrare in a stuck position, they may actually get sprayed down. They will. I don't know exactly why they committed into that, knowing that they were in fact tagged, especially off the spray. Counter Aftershocks has formed the, I don't know what that would be, the centrifuge? It's an atom smasher happening right in the middle.
Yeah, some sort of collisions happening, that's for sure. Ethan looking to make some bullets collide ahead of his opposition. That's fair for one, but only the one. Because that's going to be SNHU continuing to dominate. That's 5 in a row from them? Pretty sure it is. Not a single loss? Yeah, not a single loss after that bonus.
They sure know how to take momentum and run with it. There's some good coaching in this program. They really have been able to just kind of dominate when they have it. You have all of a single Nightfall for maybe a retake out of NYIT, whereas 4 out of the 5 in Agron, they can build their Bladestorm up easily. They don't really need it though because they have the weaponry, but it's got to be this attack. SNHU can dominate every which way. Peachy can use that Neural Theft to renegotiate. Same thing off of from the shadows, but this is a squad right now that can be able to hold, they can be able to push in, and guess what? We're doing it off of a Hunter's Fury as well, be able to clear some space outside of Garage.
Oh, nice shots, and actually, this is all a little bit of a bait and switch. That Hunter's Fury, the Ultra Aggression, all of that, not actual commitments being made. The Neural Theft as well, it's going to give the info away that there's actually nobody at A. And now, as well, from the shadows, just to add insult to injury, Coffee in position, is getting sniffed out though. It's hard. Ethan doesn't know if this was a bait, but it's still going to be a shot connecting Coffee and gets away with it too.
That is so rough to deal with because you know they're probably up there, and now you have a bunch of Prowlers that are out there trying to be able to track them down. The Nightfall does come out. The Aftershock is going to get rid of that tight angle. Hilton hanging on to an even tighter, maybe Rainbow Six Siege angle from that side, but it's going to be a 4v2 for the retake as Infinity Prime, they press up through the Cybercade. The audio intel comes in, and so does a bullet to the skull of Infinity Prime. Hilton continues to pop off. The wallbang strikes him down. That is 6 in a row. That bonus has extended through beyond the first half of this first half, and to just slow him down, Xysero says, "Bro, timeout. We got to talk."
Yeah, definitely time to talk, and I think it's time to talk about Hilton a little bit more. Our observer was talking about is that player T1 Academy back in the day, early mid 2021, and I did look it up. She was right. Absolutely guaranteed Hilton has some of that experience and showing it here right now, leading the scoreboard for the team 6 rounds in a row. That is impressive.
Yeah, starting to believe that that top 30 what was it, the power rankings? Starting to really believe in all that because some
weren't
of
a believer. Some
of it's the eyeball test, man. I've seen a lot more of the Cybers than I have of SNHU, and now I'm kind of a believer. All right, sign me up, get me into the Hilton fan club. All right, where Gia got T-shirts? Maybe.
Listen, those are coming out soon. I'll let you know. All right. What I do know though is that top 30 position seemingly reasonable, at least at this given stage. They've dominated at least here since that anti-eco round. That's the only time where we've actually seen NYIT have success outside of the pistol. And, well, you know what? It really impresses me about that, though, is that it hasn't been like NYIT are just losing gunfights. They have been winning gunfights, but they still keep losing the round, which just suggests that SNHU are just playing a little bit better, playing the trades.
And this, okay. Hey, when I was telling you about trying to be able to create some space, right? And the shock dart comes out, Hilton will be able to finish them off from the front side and the back side. But that's some of what I've seen, especially in teams that they're playing into an eco. They'll come out aggress from a B main, and then they'll kind of just say, all right, we want to take away mid space from window. And it's hit or miss. When you only got classics, well, the classic ending is for you to die. And that did happen. So, SNHU, they get a freebie. It was fish in a barrel. I need the Cybears. If they're going to be able to respond, maybe force us into a 5-7, they definitely have to make this gun round count.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, right? Like, this can't continue to get that far out of hand. But SNHU, that was a little aggressive. Definitely could have been caught out in the open, but they fought pretty quickly.
Attack. Installed. This has become a melee.
What a back and forth this has been. Wait, Coffee, how did he not see Ice right there? That's a little bit outrageous, but still, outrun going down. It's a 1v1, and who else but Hilton?
Hilton gonna hold down the fort. They do have the bomb on the fast flick. No, it's not gonna be enough. Xysero. They do win the round, but at what cost? I tell you what, every single weapon that was in their hands. And that's going to be, maybe not the roughest rebuy, but they're gonna be kind of talking about it at least for a second. Like, all right, well, what do we actually got? We're gonna look at some Spectres, some Bulldogs, a light shield. So it took every single person to be able to really just mold through the chaos to be able to get SNHU, and that's just them being a little bit out of position. But ultimately, that just came down to fast trades.
That definitely is the case. A little bit of a missed moment there from Coffee as well, not realizing the Ice was there, but also big confidence round from Ice, right? A massive 1v1 against the guy that we've been hyping up, Hilton, playing so well for the opposition, and he just absolutely dominates him in that 1v1 battle. Definitely something to note, keep our eyes on. But right now, my eyes affixed to the open A site. SNHU have, I will say, to a degree with which I am uncomfortable, been able to walk onto this site uncontested.
Yep, and they're maybe looking to get right back into it with a Rolling Thunder. A counter Rolling Thunder is going to get used, actually. So it is Earthquake v Earthquake as we just get everyone blinded, stunned, and dealing with some headaches. A quick blind as well. C-Dub's able to re-aggress against Xycerrare, and Coffee will be caught by, actually, they'll be able to get Sin. So, wow, I like that as both a panic move and a real move. As soon as you get Rolling Thunder, send one back at them and just see what happens.
Yeah, I'm not even going to call it a panic move in any way. It's actually, I'd call it the standard move at this point. And even, you know, you could argue Nightfall as well can work pretty similarly. But yeah, it's exactly what you want to do if you have the Rolling Thunder available to you and you aren't postured to deal with it. Just Rolling Thunder their aggression. They can't take advantage, and they also cannot move.
To all my Destiny OGs out there, that's like having a hunter that's trying to track you down while they're in full electric mode.
Oh, it's the anime battle!
Yeah, oh, that's gonna be happening from the back line, and that's gonna be Xycerrare that does in fact win it. They are the main protagonist for now, but they are tagged with a neural theft from the back end. Coffee will be able to trade out Visor, and C-Dubs is able to pop that pinata from the sky. Sin, and that's another one. Coffee gets a wall bang. Coffee finds another. Coffee continues to ruin everyone from these flanks.
All right, I'm going to do a quick impression of everybody in their ranked game when Coffee does what he just did. How is he there? What is that? How did he make that happen? He's just in their back line, bro. I don't understand. 9-3, and Coffee's like, hey guys, I'm one of you now.
Hello, fellow kids and agents. I'm here to play.
I am your omen. Pay no attention to the fact that I am red, not green.
That happened just yesterday to me. Our omen looked at an Astra and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's our teammate." I'm like, "Are you nuts? They literally red silhouette. Kill that person, please.
Do the murder, please." That's an HU. Well, they've been doing the murder and doing it well, I might add. Agron with the opening frag, the pistol round, and it looks nice whenever you do it with that sheriff.
It is quick tap to heaven. That's the quickest way for anyone to be able to get there. Hilton, they're gonna hold this angle alongside Agron as they have a short duel here in Sewer. Hilton making short work of anyone that chooses to try to take their throne. Yes, they're showing that they can be able to live in any academy, any collegiate sphere of competition. But interesting enough, they're not running away from Banana here on A long. They're sticking it out, maybe trying to get everyone to think that they are in fact rotating, but also to just see if mid-site will open up. This is going to be one of the hardest sites to hold if they really want to stunt SNSG from getting to 10 first.
This would be brutal to walk into the pistol round, lose out, and allow a 10th Hilton. Enemy down. Some of that classic hospitality being shown right here. 1 and a second already.
30 seconds left.
No way to get under this trigger, if I'm not mistaken. So Sin's gonna have to make a decision here, or yeah. Paranoia though.
One enemy remaining.
It's too bad. Peachy's right next to you. By the time Peachy it goes down, the paranoia is no longer a problem. It is going to be those double digits.
So through the first 13, we hit 10 really fast for SNHU. You were talking about this one turning into a 2-0 possibility. It's It's looking to be shortly there. Now, what do you think of this force up? NYT, they're going to go Stingers. This sets themselves up. They have to win this as a Thrifty, or at least into these Stingers. If they don't get this, it's basically done.
You know what I think. This is the
Oh, yeah?
best sniper in the game, bro. Let's go.
Run it down. It's Sniper Shorties. Basically, Xycerrare is going to try and get a spray down, but it's going to be Coffee that takes down Infinity Prime instead. Xycerrare finally gets rid of Coffee, that tyrant, that phantom that has existed for far too long. In a 4-on-3, NYT's quickly losing people, but they at least get the plan down.
It's fair. But yeah, there are hemorrhaging players left, right, and center. All the sole survivor is left, and Aftershock continuing to apply pressure. Not even, I was about to say, could be just tapping on that spike. Oh boy, that's, guys, it's not fair. It's just not fair.
They will be able to get rid of Hilton, but Agron then puts a bullet in the side of him, so they go with the best sniper in the game, the best gun in the game, except for the Frenzy, which is like its best like cousin.
Well, no,
gun.
see, the best gun in the game, that's just the classic.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
At any range, you just, right click and you win.
That is true. Did you know you can do 4 bullets like real fast? Like
I
if you
did,
go,
yeah.
You see? Single right.
You're making my point for me.
I am. Look, I was against your campaign and now I'm for your campaign. I'm a doubter. You've turned me like to your way of thinking like twice today.
It's easy. You just gotta believe.
I believe that NYT is getting absolutely ramrodded, but again, we're in a position SNHU is trying to get in control. They're at 11, so they can allow for some of these rounds to run away from them, but it's 3-3 here in round number 15. And, I mean, this is the playoffs for a reason. Big moments happen in playoffs. Miracles happen in brackets. But look at this parade. NYT's running all the way through C. They're like, we don't want C, we want A.
They're showing off their prowess that they could have C, but they're too good for C. They'll take A. I don't know why A is suddenly better for some reason, but whatever. We're just gonna roll with it. NYT. They have the site. Now they just gotta hold on to it.
Quick trade. That's going to be Agron. Does delete Xycerrare from the equation, so you have one hanging onto a connector. Everyone went up to heaven. Are they going to be dropping out? They have the owl drone that doesn't identify one. You have the big stun that comes out as well on the fault line. Do they drop? Oh my goodness, Hilton! You madman! It's going to be a 2v1. Visor has to be sick with it. They're able to get rid of the recon bolt. Do they expect them to be right there in the dark cover? Yes, they do! And the halfway defuse, Visor will reload. Well, can they relocate to be able to get rid of Agron? They're just spraying through as best they can. They've run through the dark cover. They're actually behind them. It's right click heaven, and they're gonna be able to clutch it up.
Best gun to the game, baby. Visor with the victory. He's done it. Oh my goodness. The old right click free gun, by the way. SNHU just getting rolled in that last engagement, 1v2 for Visor. I mean, not the prettiest round, let's be honest, but rounds are rounds, as I am a big fan of saying, and rounds do win games. So 11-4, the start of what could be a comeback is here.
More points than your opponent equals victory. That can apply to Rocket League, that can apply to Valorant, that can apply to most traditional sports.
Yeah.
They do opt for the Blaze Storm, and Agron is using those blades as if there is a discount sale, and they're going to be able to get 5 more in a hurry. They have 3 remaining. They have more as they're able to get a quick headshot into Sin, but it's going to be Visor that takes them down quickly, and that becomes a 3v3. I've seen this story before, but this time SNHU on the lesser side of it.
A little shock dart, a little chip damage. I'd like to see that. Creates a lot of pressure, and Hilton, well, the pressure exploding into a victory. Hilton has to clutch. Has a shot. Oh, there's one. He wants another, but it's just a little bit off. What a way would that have been to send it to match point? But Ice will once again win the 1v1 against Hilton for the second time.
Hilton thinking he has those Master Thief boots from Elder Scrolls that don't give you any drop damage. And so Xycerrare on the second half, they will take their second time out. Right now, SNHU is in a position they can give up a lot of rounds. They know that. They're like, all right, let's just play. We're inside the opening rounds of this half. As long as we don't let it get too far away. That's why they had kind of a low buy. we can do kind of whatever we want. Into this 17th round, NYT knows that this is the entire semester. This is this playoffs kind of just bleeding edge. They have to grind out each of these. What do you think? What kind of conversations happening with their coach, with everyone over there?
Well, if you ask me, it definitely is. You know, if it's a coach talking right now, it's got to be one of those speeches. You know, this is we've been working to this point. This is do or die. This is now or never. That's what's happening. If it's the team talking, I think they got to figure out a way to trade a little bit more effectively. That's the thing that has just looked so much better for SNHU, is that they've just been a little bit better at trading. And that's the crazy thing. It's only a little bit better that's needed for them to be up 11-5.
God, just seeing that expanse of so many rounds in a row, it seems like such a daunting task to stop this kind of choo-choo train, especially with SNHU and all the momentum they have. Xycer is going to lead in. They have the Prowler to get in front of them. You do have that Paranoia that's going to slow them down, but the Blade Storm at hand, at the ready. They double stacked the cages because why not? That's a thing. A little bit of extra chip damage. They can't land a single knife, and that's a lot of defensive damage, and that leaves all of one. Ethan, they don't have the bomb planted. They're thinking about the lockdown. They're going to put the sentry turret out as well. You have to be able to see them coming in from CT. The Aldro may come out at Grin. Oh, they don't even get to see themselves die as Hilton gets another headshot. We're finally on series point.
Match point.
Yeah, that was one of those swarm moments, right? SNHU, they know where that push is coming. As soon as the Prowler Blade Storm combo comes up through Garage and into C, and they just swarm on top of it. So swift to take that out. Blades are not even a factor in that round, despite leading the charge, being the tip of the spear. SNHU now one round away from a grand finals berth here in the ECC. This would be massive for their chances, for their look. As the situation goes from bad to worse for NYIT, SNHU takes the opening pick.
They're getting sniffed out everywhere they choose to go. Shorty kill by Visor, so they're able to get rid of Agron. You gotta be heroes in these moments. Ethan is trying to be that exact thing as they get rid of two. The cyber cage does go up, so they use that audible intel to see if they're coming through the doors. Hilton is trying to fight against a Prowler, but they've lessened that HP from 100 to 60, so a little bit easier to kill to get rid of your nightmares, and you don't even need a Dreamcatcher to do it. So in this 3v2, the Cyber is just trying to stay alive, and there's Odin's in hand. Oh, there was.
Yeah, there was. They're all theft. Gonna be thrown out.
Spike planted.
PG wants to go for the 1v2 clutch here. A big task ahead, but oh, Ethan, this is scary. Don't take this fight. Don't give him 1v1s. We know Peachy can clutch this. There's just no way they've allowed this to happen. It's 30 health, but so is this NYIT player. They're both so low. 1-on-1 for the match, for the series, for the semester. And he's got it. No way. SNHU. The upsets continue as they take out the number 3 seed.
Defenders win.
And they head into the grand finals.
Hogfrog on the tag and in the bag is a nice 2-0 win over the Cybears. That's SNHU, Southern New Hampshire University, that's able to continue their Cinderella run based on seeding, but the powerhouse is starting to look that much more powerful. Honestly, Vincent, this is starting to look like the team to beat. We're going to be seeing the results of that other semifinal, but I mean, this is a team that is executing behind Hilton, but around each other very well.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say just looking over things, like it does seem like this team is the best team on paper that I'm aware of. You know, you got Malloy and Utica on the other side of this bracket. What I do know, though, is that SNHU are well deserving of that top 30 spot that we've been talking about. The VAL Power Rankings have it right number 28 in the nation, or rather, I mean, to be fair, that's Canada too. So absolutely fantastic stuff being done over the course of this series for SNHU. And the good news is, I think we're looking for an interview. So we're probably going to get to talk to one of these players.
We will. And as a quick update for you, if you've not been over to the other semifinal, Utica did win map number 1, 13-6. So could be seeing the collision course between those two titans, but we may be on a collision course for an awesome interview. So on the other side of this short break, stick with us. We'll have someone from SNHU, maybe right after this.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that fact, taking big.
That's so cute. UCF, and it's really cute. I'm gonna move down here. How do we feel? The odds for UCF? What are we thinking?
They got it. No, we got this. We got it. We got it. Go Knights. Charge on.
100%. My friend Nick is behind you. He's gonna record it. Don't look at him. You'll ruin the shot. Don't look at him. Don't look at him.
Come on.
Oh,
let's go! Let's go!
My smile's probably really creepy. I was just being weird. Oh, I love being in the shadows, though. Big shout out to the shadows. We could interview Dilly just because I think he's handsome. You weren't supposed to hear.
Here's the thing about the event. I'm the greatest that's ever lived.
Literally true. I know him.
I think everyone knows that. I think everyone's aware of that.
Hey, do you have a VIP access badge on?
I actually have an all access.
Oh, an all access. I thought it said VIP access.
And that's only available for the best.
That's true. He's right. That's a main stage TO right there.
If this goes live, I'm suing everybody.
It's all right. A video of me, the first clip is me saying, don't put that in. And then it was the first, cut the cameras. Oh, you're recording already? Great. So this is good. This is Bay State versus UCF. I believe something that we saw yesterday on day 1 of the tournament, but instead we're going to have that run back here. I think they're fighting for a spot in Grand Finals. Anarchy, one of the best Greninja players in the United States, currently struggling against a Terry. Terry notorious for that DLC privilege, being a very strong character with some very strong abilities. Greninja, not so much, considered one of the weaker characters in the game. The Falco player, one of the best in the United States, and he just got spiked by a Terry. Same Terry that took out Anarchy literally minutes ago. UCF still up by 2 stocks. This guy is looking to rip this team apart single-handedly. That is, I mean, nuts, to say the very least. Absolutely absurd. That was a disgusting spike. I cannot believe that happened. Will you hold the microphone so I can sign this? Sorry. For context, he's got a fan. He's actually signing something. He's so excited. What was it like to not hear my voice for 2 minutes? For 30 seconds, maybe. What was it like? Probably bliss. I was signing a mouse pad, which is really cool. I've never done that before. Nobody's ever asked me for a signature, so I'm going to start blushing, but I'm really excited about that. And then he wants a picture. Can you take a picture of us? I said, is it bad? She went, no. I'm going to go ahead and take that as a yes. Turns out I can't tie a tie sitting down. What do you think is the appropriate face-to-screen ratio for a Valorant player?
Face to screen, like how close I sit?
Yeah, like how close should a player sit?
Personally, I play really, really close. I think it depends on your eyesight, but for me, I like playing close because it helps me focus on my crosshair.
Is the value of sitting close, the crosshair being the only thing in your line of sight?
Yeah, that's pretty much the main benefit of it.
It's so funny how close some of these guys sit. Oh my goodness. What do you think is the healthy face-to-screen distance for a Valorant player?
I think it's all kind of personal preference. I guess I would consider myself like pretty close when I play because I like to like zone in on my crosshair.
It is the second person to say that. It's all about the crosshair. And then what's up with the horizontal keyboard?
I don't know, like it just kind of fits like the form when I'm close to monitor. Like I don't know, it might sound cringy, but I like to like be one with my gun, you know?
No, bro, I feel it absolutely. What is going on, everybody? I am here with some UCF fans. How are we feeling about UCF? Let's go! Let's go! We've got a bunch of UCF fans in the crowd right now. UCF, they're up by a single game. They're looking to find their third and possibly final, secure a spot moving forward. Things looking great for them against Northwood here today. This guy's playing Minecraft right now. He keeps double building instead of placing the dirt. Pressure's on, man. Everybody's watching. Just kidding, just me. Cameraman's not over here. Just kidding, he's behind you. There's actually always cameras on you if I'm around. Do you double build all of those? No excuses, bro. Your college esports Minecraft team absolutely rolled. L after L here. Let's hope UCF has a little better luck on stage, huh? What is going on, everybody? I am Septilence. I have the honor of welcoming you to the Collegiate Esport Commissioners Cup here in Atlanta, Georgia. All right, that was good. That was good. Good content, good content.
Hello, hello, hello. Happy New Year's, everyone, and welcome back to the ECAC Esports channel. As always, my name is Kyler K-Ted Tando, and I once again have the privilege of introducing you all to some of the best collegiate esports plays. Now, I know when we left off last year, I teased a little bit about some big news on the horizon, but that news is finally ready to break. Now, this year, in partnership with CSMG and their newly launched Esports U network, we will now be able to bring you guys double the amount of ECAC matches. So, with double the matches comes double the highlights. And with that said, I mean, obviously, right, do the math here. It means that we get to take this series of videos to a weekly top 8 instead of just the top 4 like we did in the past. But anyways, that's enough out of me. I'm sure you guys are ready for some hype plays and crazy moments. So without further ado, here you go. In our season opening clip, we have Ghost and Ox with the devastating 1-2 combo that just breaks SLU at the knees. Or is it boosters?
Can't fall through. Nice bounce, but a nice goal! Right past the defender. Ox makes it look easy.
I'm so surprised because I couldn't.
At number 7, Rawfam pounds his chest and decrees that he is the strongest in the jungle with this sick 3K to flip the point.
The arms and keeps everyone alive through that. Amplification Matrix came through, but we didn't get the same benefit we saw last time with the Amplified Fire Strike. Instead is Angry Monkey time from a fan with a 3K. Call that the Primal Blade.
As our first Smash play of the year, it's the clean 9 stock from Hydra to lock down New Jersey City's 2-0 win against Husson.
As they go for that kill confirm again, it's not going to connect this time, but there it is, just waiting on the platform for the spike. NJCU cleaning up in their signature style. Hydra leading the charge all the way home.
Next up, it's every shorty player's dream, and what's going to be a nightmare for University at Albany.
Up close and personal. This is the one player who's got a chance with his read. What about timing here? So step forward now into the angle. Certainly good for one. There's the one. No one's reswung. He's reloaded. This never happens to a shorty player. Nevin is up now as well.
In our next clip, who needs teammates when you've got a wall? Grim surely doesn't.
Snaps and passes. They tried their best, and that is an open goal. But unfortunately, out the top, it's going to be the header in. Tit for tat, Grim takes it in on their own.
Ooh, spicy little double tap right there. You saw him looking for it, but that...
For the second time this evening, I've been dono-walled, this time by an interview. And, you know, as much as I wish that we had one, you know, we're just going to be able to see who is going to be the opponent thereafter for SNHU. But otherwise, congratulations. They 2-0 the Cybears. They move on to the grand finals. And Vincent, last thoughts, this team, are they even better than they are on paper? They had the number 7 seed. Are they the best that have to be faced off against?
Listen, I'm a hot take kind of guy. We'll say it. SNHU, the team to beat here in the grand finals. We'll see who they are coming to go up against. That Malloy and Utica game going on at Esports U2. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. Make sure you're tuning in over there and checking it out. Hail, Monkey Man. Back over to you, my friend. Are we getting out of here?
Yeah, and of course, if you guys want to be able to see even more playoff action, tomorrow, Friday, it's going to be the NJCAAE Overwatch quarters and semis going down, and that's going to be at 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. EST, so if you want to see some Eastern Standard Time, early evening type of playoffs, make sure you check those out. But we've got another map that we want to check out. We'll see you over there, but I'm Hell Monkey Man. That is also Vincent, and we had the fantastic Coltoon as well as we had a great observer. I don't know their name. Wait, you know Vincent?
Erica,
there you go. And look, I don't know all the names. I don't even know all my cousins' names, but you guys in the audience have been awesome. We'll see you next time, guys.
Say that. I'll get in trouble. There's one for each game, so teams this weekend, somebody's going to have to explain to TSA why they're coming home with an extra trophy. Fine. We're fine. This is going to be great. Why is everybody staring at me? I'm not even doing anything yet. Is it because I'm in a suit? It looks nice. It's new. I'm stressing. It's all right. We win these. We absolutely win these. I've never seen us lose these. I love him. I don't remember his name. What is going on, everybody? And oh, are we ready? I'll start over. Okay. What's going on, everybody? We are here at the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup 2022 in Atlanta, Georgia. The players are just now entering the arena for day one. A lot of them had the opportunity to be here yesterday to get jerseys, to get familiar with the area, and to get to know one another. But today, the friendly gloves have to come off, and they are all here. Earlier, I was talking to these guys. This mannequin, when they didn't have anything else set up, I could see it from all the way down there, and I thought it was a person. And I stood there for like 5 minutes, and I was like, why is he standing like that? And I thought it was like a smooth criminal. I thought somebody was giving us like a Michael Jackson impression, and then it was a mannequin. I was really embarrassed to admit that. Oh my God, that's a lot of people. Hold on, let's go over this window. It just keeps going. There's so many people outside. There are so many people outside. We're gonna interview people when they come in. I don't really want to go outside. It looks like it's gonna rain, and this suit is new. So, oh, there's Doc Haskell. Hi, Doc. How are you? He brings a full notebook with him and like writes notes down. It was pretty insane. He had it yesterday. He's gonna be coming through this metal detector right here. I don't know his name though, but I recognize his hair.
Jen.
You're Jen. All right, we're gonna interview Jen, who's supporting Kennesaw. I'm gonna ask you a couple of very simple questions. Okay. Are we ready? All right, great. College. I really like Georgia College's color scheme. It's just red, white, and blue, I think, but I think they did it in a really clever way. Mineral area wearing hoodies, even though it is 75 degrees outside here in Atlanta, Georgia. Absolute legends.
If only Nick could hear you. Nick, come back.
If he's over 100 feet away, he can't.
You were whispering something, and he started smiling. I'm like, are you whispering?
Oh yeah, because he's got his headphone in if we're close enough. But
Bless you.
Gesundheit. Gesundheit again. You're welcome. I'm gonna go find him. Oh, there he is. Oh my. Oh, okay. Real stuff is starting. Real stuff. Competitive integrity needs to be upheld. We gotta get out of here. Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble. I get really embarrassed when I get yelled at.
30 is
Okay. Wow, it's not 10:30 yet.
It's only like barely 10.
Woo! All right, it's gonna be a long. Hey, what's up? Surprise interview. Join me over here. We have a cool backdrop. What are we here for?
Rocket League.
Awesome. I'm not going to ask what school you go to because unless you swapped hoodies, that seems pretty clear.
No, you know, I got my jersey on with my name on it.
Oh, you do? Show us your jersey. Look at John T. Turbo here. Yeah, that's not his name. I just keep calling him that. Yeah. His name is John, but
my name is John Turbesi.
Yeah, that's not John T. Turbo.
Yeah, I get the message that I'm going to Nebraska where I met you.
Oh, that's so crazy. So context, if we're probably never going to use this, but we're going to talk about it. Turbo and I met at a LAN like over a year ago. That's so crazy. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup. I am Sebdolence, joined by a man I have interviewed probably well over 10 times. It's going to be my good friend Neb, here from Bay State Overwatch team. Neb looked at me before he started his last series, and he said, we are not dropping a map for the rest of the day. And so far, he has lived up to that title. But Neb, is there anybody you're thinking, we've got to get them out of the way, we've got to take them down?
No.
No? Just looking at it, each fight's its own, every game? Going into it, just taking it as it comes?
I have the confidence right now that we're not going to drop a single map.
I love Neb because not only is he confident, but he's correct. Bay State is one of the best Overwatch teams I've ever seen. So it's always good to hear. I love the confidence, and I love Bay State, so I hope they do a great job this weekend. So what qualifier, did you win a qualifier to get here?
At-large bid.
We're looking at Rocket League. We're thinking high odds, low odds. Where do we think we're walking away?
I think pretty high. I think we're doing pretty good.
Is there anybody that you're looking at, you're like, please do not let us go up against them unless we absolutely have to?
I mean, really, everybody's good competition, so.
And sorry, what was your name?
Ethan.
Ethan from Mineral area.
Yep.
Very exciting. Well, Ethan, good luck.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon. What kind of pass? A player pass?
Let me get your lanyard.
No, you actually have to like tape it to your chest, like really awkwardly with masking tape. Okay. And it's gonna fall off. Yeah. It's gonna be uncomfortable, I promise. That's a guarantee. Okay, cut that, I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, good. I'm great, everything's good.
Who do we interview? Who should we interview?
I don't know, I'm just here. I need caffeine.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that fact, taking big.
Welcome to ECAC Top Plays of the Week. This is Rod, your favorite host, back at it again with more stellar plays from collegiate esports. Special thanks to our partners at Esports U for the additional coverage. Let's hop straight into it. Starting off this week at number 8, we have Torchy showing aerial dominance. They show that you're going to have to work a little bit harder if you want to get back on their stage.
Tiny bit here. Now you got to mix up your timings getting back onto the stage. Torchy is looking for something, able to still find the jab, and the foil is going to be